Well, while politicians, in fact, may be a law unto themselves, it seems, so are the police. The Mumbai police coming in for angry criticism for what many feel is overreaching moral policing and invasion of privacy of consenting adults in private spaces. Well, joining us from Mumbai is Shaina NC, the BJP spokesperson, and we are also joined by Anil Dharkar. He's a columnist and writer, and we hope to be joined by a former Commissioner of Police, A.A. Khan, as well. Mr. Dharkar, how do you view recent events of not only police going into guest houses and hotels and checking on couples there, consenting couples, though admittedly 3 cases of possible prostitution were also there, and also the moral policing on, say, the Aksa beach, etc.?
Well, you know, my first reaction was that the police actually wanted bribes because this is a standard practice that you find courting couples, you threaten them, and you pick up some money. But this became much worse than that.
Yeah.
Because here they were charged with public indecency. Now, how do you define public indecency? Public indecency, I would think, is when you are sitting on the beach or in a garden and indulging in acts which are offensive to a lot of people. But this was in hotel rooms which are closed. There are consenting adults. I don't think they found a single person who was a child. They had consenting adults who are doing whatever they want to do in private.
Sure,
this was not public indecency of any kind.
And Mr. Dharkar, what was more
not just
ironic
that,
was that the police were saying that hotels and guest houses are actually public places.
Well, they are public places in the sense that they are available to the public. But what you do in private,
correct,
between 2 adults, consenting adults, is their business. And it's an invasion of privacy. And what I would like actually to happen is a case brought against the police for invasion of privacy. And this is something that really should be pursued. And by the way, I also want to make the point that the Malwani police who are involved in this, under their very noses, there was this spurious liquor case just a month ago where over 100 people died because of bad liquor.
Spurious liquor, and that was under the police's watch.
Look at the priorities of this bloody police force. Look at the priorities of this police force.
A.A. Khan, former Commissioner of Police in Mumbai. Mr. Khan is also joining us. Mr. Khan, I don't know whether you picked up what Mr. Dharkar was saying.
To call them the bloody police? Is this the respect you give to the police force? I mean, as a citizen, the least you can do is hear the side of the police before turning them as
that's exactly what I'm trying to do here.
Mr. Khan.
Mr. Khan, former Commissioner of Police, sir, what is the police's version here?
On my one word,
Mr. Dharkar,
where I express
very frankly,
my anger.
Yeah, Mr. Khan,
the very word used by this gentleman,
stick to the point.
I find it very scandalous. The way he is talking about bloody police and all that is scandalous. The bloody police is the one which is protecting him from criminals and underworld.
He's trying to say
there's got to be some amount of respect for the police which is working 24 hours a day to protect people like him, who don't have any kind of concern for the police force.
Getting back to the point, Mr. Khan, in this particular case, how is the police, how can, just a second, Mr. Dharkar, you've made your point, Mr. Dharkar, you made your point, Mr. Khan, how can the police justify what they do?
No, I just want to respond to
Dharkar keeps shouting.
Go on, Mr. Khan.
Dharkar keeps shouting, there's nothing much I can say. I thought this was a sensible discussion where each one of us can talk. Very frankly, I too do not believe that the police should go around in hotel rooms and check consenting adults from meeting each other or performing whatever their functions. Our job is to ensure that the youth, the younger generation, then get affected by this kind of pornographic and
is that your job? Is that your job to go into guest houses and hotels and consenting adults and bring them out, take them to the police station, fine them 1,200 rupees, get them to call their parents? Is that your job, Mr. Khan?
No, I don't think it's our job. Our job is to protect the people. We've got enough work cut out for us to be on the roads, to protect the people, to look at the larger picture.
Yeah.
What is the larger problem in Mumbai, or for that matter anywhere in India? It is combating terrorism, is combating lawlessness, is combating rapists, it's combating crime.
Sure.
Crime against the women and the juveniles,
Yeah.
the younger set.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't forget our duty and go around chasing men and women
Sure.
who have a right, if they can afford to go into a hotel room and do whatever they feel like. I don't think we should
Shaina and come in there. In this particular case here, what are your views on what the police should be doing?
First and foremost, I don't think there's any mix-up on priorities. The police force, the agenda is clearly to keep Mumbai city safe and secure, terrorism being a priority, and then working its way downwards. Please understand that when you have citizens disrespecting the police force, it only makes the morale of the people who are safeguarding all our interests as per a particular question mark as to how you're suspecting their integrity is very demeaning for the force to start with. That's the first point I want to make.
Okay.
The second is, in this particular case, there were incessant complaints. Please ask the local police station how many complaints vis-a-vis, not just locals, not just locals, 1 minute Amitabh, even the parents of some of the people who were part of this prostitution racket. It's all very well for us to say, you know, that they two consenting adults in a room, it's their private space. That could be the optimistic argument that most people want to have. But the police has only intervened on incessant complaints by locals. Those locals complained repeatedly. Parents of the concerned parents complained repeatedly. And if the police is doing its job, I completely despise any kind of commentary which says the bloody police.
Right.
Who gives anyone a right to disrespect our forces
since you're
for
talking
doing
about
their job?
If there is 64 couples were in fact found in various raids over Thursday and Friday. Only 3 of those were found to be soliciting. You're saying that they were...
One second, Amitabh ji.
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
The 3 that were found for soliciting, please look up the complaints given to the police station where there were parents who were scared that their children were into a drug racket in these rooms. All of that, if there are complaints, isn't it the job of the police to investigate and find out? Maybe sometimes they're right,
slapping around women slapping around women, taking them to the police station, getting them...
Nobody subscribes to any kind of physical abuse, and there wasn't. I think that we need to just understand we are not moral police, but we're doing our job.
Okay, Mr. Dharkar, your point?
Approve of these extraordinary measures, extra legal measures.
Can I come in here,
go around combating?
Because you know, because
Mr. Dharkar, go ahead.
Shaina NC was a friend of mine, and Shaina and Mr. Khan have picked on that one word, bloody, which I used in anger about this particular police action. I want to clarify that the police overall does a wonderful job, and they keep the city safe, and some of the top policemen are my personal friends, and I respect them as much as I respect anyone in this world. I want to clarify that because they're seizing on this one word I said in anger.
Diverting from what we're discussing.
Let me also say, yes, exactly. And what I want to say is that even if parents complain about their children, it is not the police who are the nannies of parents to protect, to look after children. The police have a job which is to look after law and order. It's not to look after morals. And this is respected all over the world, that police look after law and order. They want to prevent crime. Now we have this added
if there is a particular case of drug abuse or prostitution vis-a-vis minors, it is their jurisdiction.
And in Malwani, we had this whole incident. Shana, let me finish. Shana, let me finish. In Malwani, a month ago, we had this huge spurious liquor racket in which over 100 people died, and this happened under the eyes of the same police force. Now you tell me, what is the priority of the cops?
A quick comment on that, there are priorities that the Mumbai police should be looking at, and that was one of them, not exactly what
Amitabh, it's not as if they're not looking at priorities on various fronts, but this is not about some competitive expose that we're running where we're trying to say that this is their job and this is not. If there are incessant complaints, if there is a question of drug abuse, if there is a question of trafficking, I think that they are in a legitimate space to investigate. I'm not subscribing to any kind of moral police, and I don't think that there is a question. But tomorrow, if your child was a part of this racket, and as a concerned parent, if you repeatedly ask the police to intervene, I think it's a fair premise.
Wouldn't it be
you can
the
debate and deliberate for the longest
not
time.
The police's? Sure, your point taken there, Shaina NC, Mr.
No,
Khan, and
very frankly,
I know you
Amitabh, if you want my opinion,
yeah, quickly, sir.
Amitabh, if you want my opinion, very frankly, from my experience, whenever you ask the police to indulge in checking prostitution, checking gambling, checking drug abuse, it leads to a lot of corruption. It leads to a lot of misuse of power. Okay. What, very frankly, the police, the job of the police is for prevention and detection of crime. There is enough scope for the police to curb use of drugs
that point,
outside colleges
I think there's
and
just
schools.
News coming in, Mr. Khan, that the Mumbai Police Commissioner Rakesh Maria has now ordered an inquiry into the raids conducted at lodges in Mumbai. An additional Commissioner of Police has been asked to complete the inquiry expeditiously. So that puts a full stop at least to that story there. Thank you so much
all
for
underhand.
all
This
three,
is all
Mr.
very
Dharkar,
underhand.
Mr. Khan and Shaina NC. Thanks for joining us on the Buck Stops here. Good night.